Storiez began as an intervention to support inner city youth and their therapists in the process of creating a trauma narrative. And as I was going around and I was training people in the intervention, I realized that people were really excited. They liked the simplicity of the intervention. They liked the fact that it was engaging for youth, that it's culturally aware. I also started meeting with other people who weren't necessarily therapists, but who said, you know what, I would love to be able to support the children that I'm working with in processing what happened to them in their past, but I'm not a therapist. I met with community leaders, I met with artists, I met with people that were in after-school programs, concerned parents, grandparents, who all wanted tools to be able to help the kids that were within their sphere of influence to be able to creatively tell their story. And that's what led me to adapt the Storiez, a guide for therapists, into Storiez, a do-it-yourself guide. And Storiez, a do-it-yourself guide supports people in creating an abbreviated trauma narrative. As I evaluated the Storiez resources that I had and then looked to see what other needs are out there, I thought, well, not everyone is ready to tell their story, whether that's in the context of therapy or whether that's in the context of Storiez, a do-it-yourself guide. But everybody has feelings, and sometimes, especially for trauma survivors, our feelings get in the way of us being able to tell our story, and our feelings get in the way of us having meaningful relationships, of being able to be successful in the present, of being able to look toward our future. And that led to the creation of Storiez, a feelings guide. I'm excited to be able to provide trainings to communities of people who are interested in Storiez, a guide for therapists, Storiez, a do-it-yourself guide, and Storiez, a guide for feelings. Each of these trainings starts off by introducing the theoretical information, and that's the foundation for each of the interventions. And then the Storiez tool is introduced as a meaningful, implementable strategy to support people in saying, you know what, these are the challenges that trauma poses when it impacts individuals, communities, groups. But then here are solutions that we can implement in an effort to try and help people heal from the trauma. So it propels you past the trauma. We talk about trauma, we talk about the impact of trauma, but then beyond that we say, but how can we heal? How can we look to our future vision? How can we develop skills and strategies to support us into developing the skills that we need in order to be healthy, successful, productive individuals?